pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the minutes from the April 23rd regular meeting. We have had a chance to take a look at the minutes. Anybody have any additions or corrections? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second. Mr. Peterswall?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard? Yay. Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have the fiscal officer's report. Anything tonight?
Just have the April bank rec that I'll pass down for everybody to sign.
Very good.
And outside of that, nothing.
Okay, we do have the current bills to pay. We have had a chance to take a look at the current bills. Anybody have any questions about the current bills? Hearing none, is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard? Yay. Mr. Peterswall?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And anything else from fiscal officer at this time?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to special activities, we have two items listed on here, and I'd like to change these and move the number 2 item up to number 1, and for an opportunity for the folks that are here for the swearing in, if they want to leave, they won't necessarily sit through this presentation, but you're more than welcome to stay and watch the presentation. So at this time, I'd like to have a motion to offer part-time probationary employment position as a police officer to Stephanie Williams at a rate of $15 an hour. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second. Mr. Peterswall?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard? Yay. Mr. Wade?
Yay. Stephanie, if you would, please come to the front. You can use that as a cheat as you like. If you would, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Stephanie Williams,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the resolutions adopted by the Clear Creek Township Board of Trustees,
the resolutions adopted by the Clear Creek Township Board of Trustees,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties required as a part-time police officer
the duties required as a part-time police officer
and police constable for Clear Creek Township,
and police constable of Clear Creek Township,
Police Department in Warren County, Ohio,
Police Department in Warren County, Ohio,
during continuance of my lawful employment.
during continuance of my lawful employment.
Congratulations. Thank you. What's your name? I'm Matt.
Sure.
Before your nice one.
We will take plenty of time for pictures, Chief.
Oh, you want me?
I
We wouldn't recommend that.
mean,
Other than
I've got a face for radio.
No, I think it'd be okay.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
All right, Chief, we move you rise.
Right.
Just keep going right.
Yeah, one more.
All right. Got it. All right, hang on. 9 o'clock, I think, right? Yeah, that works. All right, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have item number 1 on the agenda, which is a presentation of the 2018 Clear Creek Fire District Community Service Survey results presented by the University of Michigan. Chief, if you'd like to kick it off.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little introduction here. So this project started a little over 2 years ago. I met with Dr. and Associates of the Public Safety, Public Administration Department. We're talking about, trying to figure out where we need to go as a fire department. We have a strategic plan. I personally feel as the fire chief, we have an outstanding department, serve outstanding people, and an outstanding community, but my opinion is biased. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to figure out what does the community think of the fire department and what is their level of potential support as we grow as an organization and as we grow as a community. So the two main things that we did with this survey is we wanted to go out and figure out, all right, what does the community think of our department? You know, what is their level of satisfaction? And then the other thing is, do they understand the growth that we're dealing with the community, and what is their potential support as we grow to support the fire department? Do they want to see us continue to grow the fire department, provide them the service that they've become accustomed to, or would they rather us cut services and not ask them to chip in? So we kind of put that out there to see the feel of the community, and we have a presentation to show you what the results of that is. So with that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Josh Ambrosius. He's the head of the Masters of Public Administration program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Agenbrod, for coming to us and giving us this opportunity to serve your community. Every year in our two-course research methods and statistics sequence, we engage a local community on a project that will help them better understand their community needs and better make policies to serve them. So tonight you're going to hear from 4 of our MPA students from this course that will present to you the findings of this 2018 Clear Creek Fire District survey. So I will turn it over to Colin.
When you come up, if you would, be sure to state your name.
Awesome. Hi everyone, my name is Colin Parble. I am first year in the MPA student department. So as Steve said, when we were first kind of approached with this project in early August, we wanted to identify some 3 main goals to kind of guide the project through our time. So those 3 goals were to understand citizens' perceptions of the Clear Creek Fire District, to gauge overall service satisfaction, and finally to determine possible support for the increase in the level of service and funding of that department. So we thought the best way to achieve those goals was to implement a survey in this district. So what we did was we mailed an invitation to a random sample drawn from the Clear Creek Fire District of people that voted in the past elections. And we collected responses from February 15th through March 5th. During that time, we sent out 1 reminder card, just basically reminding them that the survey was out and they can still mail it in or fill it out online. And what our response was, about 65% responded via hard copy, by which they sent it back to us, to our department, and 35% used SurveyMonkey, which was our online survey that we provided them. We sent out about 1,800 invites to this survey, of which 434 responded, so that equates to about a 24.1% response rate, from which we could gain some conclusions from the data that we collected. The survey itself was broken down into 3 different sections. The first section was concerned with citizen satisfaction, the second being prospective levy support, and finally just some background information of the people that responded. And we were able to kind of capture that in this map created by one of our students in the course. This is just a map of the Clear Creek Fire District. You can see the kind of the lighter blue background represents the Clear Creek Township, while the darker blue in the upper left is Springboro. The gray kind of rectangles or squares that you see are all the houses that received a survey from us, and the pink circles represent those that actually responded to us. So from the people that responded to us, we were able to determine that 55% came from the township, while 45% came from the city itself. Those that responded were primarily conservative, made over 100,000, were slightly older and older than 56 years old. 98% owned the home that they lived in and had been living in the district for over 10 years, with 63% receiving a bachelor's degree or above. So it was just a nice little handy map to kind of show where we got most of our responses from. So to kind of give you a better idea of what our survey actually results were, will be Ms. Sampson.
Thanks, Colin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shay Sampson. Please forgive me if I don't know how to work the clicker at first. So again, I'm representing Citizen Satisfaction Group, and what we did is we took all the data that we received on satisfaction and grouped it in various ways to see if there were any glaring disparities in different groups between city or township, those who had received emergency services or had not, how long they had lived in the fire district. We also got to visit the fire district and tour it. We visited Station 21 and, was it Station 22?
Yeah, we had to drive by 23 because of a crash, so.
Yeah. And we also tried very unsuccessfully to lift a 185-pound dummy to see what they go through. One of us tried to do it in heels. So what you will see as we're going through is a 5-point scale where 5 represents very satisfied, 1 represents very dissatisfied on the following chart. Okay, so the first question was, overall, how satisfied are you with the services provided by the Clear Creek Fire District? 81% said satisfied or very satisfied, with 16% as neutral. Satisfaction in the city of Springboro versus Clear Creek Township are slightly different, slightly higher in Springboro, but again, it's going from a 4.42 out of 5 to a 4.16 out of 5, so not a hugely disparate level. One interesting thing that we did find was that the length of residence, usually the longer that they have lived in the fire district, the more satisfied they are. So the lowest is 0 to 5 year scale at 4.07 out of 5, and the highest at 26 plus years at 4.42 out of 5. So, but again, all of those are above a 4, which is our category for satisfied on the scale. These groupings are about interacting with the fire district, both for services and personnel. So on the left, you'll see that the question that we asked was if respondents or their family members had interacted with personnel not in an emergency basis, and on the right, if they or their family had received emergency services. And as you will see, both numbers increase if they answered yes to having interacted with the fire district personnel or having received emergency services, which we took as a positive indicator that they like them. This is just hammering home. We asked if they perceived that the fire district fulfills its mission to proudly serve with compassion, integrity, and professionalism, and 91% of respondents either agree or strongly agree with that statement. Okay. Now we have some testimonials, and these have been edited for clarity or expediency. So, the care they delivered to my husband and me was outstanding. Very well prepared, knowledgeable, caring, and patient during an emergency situation. I called when there was some wire damage around my house after a bad ice storm. They came out to check on the wires and make sure I was safe. When my son had a febrile seizure at age 3, we had no idea what was happening. The squad was amazing in managing my family as well as the emergency. And beyond that, there are a lot more testimonials, but they took note of their presence at CPR classes, the National Night Out, station open houses and school visits, and we all got positive feedback for those. And here to talk about prospective levy support is Cindy.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ricky Morris. I'm another student in the MPA program, and I'm going to discuss the levy portion of our survey. We started out, let me click. We started out just asking in general how supportive the participants would be of a levy if it appeared on the ballot, and we had 83% indicating some level of support, either definitely supporting it, or leaning towards it. And 35% said they lean towards it, but they need some more information, so we felt like this showed a need to just educate the public and provide some more information on why the levy would be needed, or why the funds would be needed. We then tried to break down our questions, just kind of narrow it down a little bit to find out what circumstances are influencing levy support. So we asked the participants to either agree or disagree on a scale with the statement, I would support a levy to keep the same level of services provided by the Clear Creek Fire District. And we had 78% either agree or strongly agreed with that statement, and only 9% disagreed. So again, it showed a strong satisfaction with the current level of services and a desire to maintain those services. We then asked, or made a statement, I would support a levy to keep the Clear Creek Fire District from having to close down one of the 3 fire stations, and we again had 78% of the respondents saying that they agree or strongly agree with that statement, which tells us that the citizens are very satisfied again and would like to avoid any kind of reduction. Our last statement was I would support a levy to increase the services provided by the Clear Creek Fire District to meet the increased demand of a growing community, and 65% agreed or strongly agreed with that, which even though that was a slightly lower number, it was still the majority. 2/3 recognized that in order to maintain the current services, the services would need to increase. And 23% were neutral, so that again made us feel like people need some more information to really come to a decision of whether they would support or not support a levy. So next is implications by Brian.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Brian Stewart, and I'll be brief and to the point. You just got a bunch of information, and you have these wonderful packets in front of you full of information, but at the end of the day, there's some pretty straightforward implications. Based on our survey results, the community's feedback was overwhelmingly positive, and this was across all demographics that responded. So if you look through the data, it's positive. People really enjoyed their interactions with your fire district. Your constituents were happy with their fire department, and the positive their feedback highlighted that they had excellent interactions. The testimonials over and over are positive. And it appears that the greatest challenge for the fire district is keeping pace with the community's rapid growth. Through our data collection efforts and going through the surveys, we determined that the community understands this challenge and are willing to support the resources necessary to provide quality service, but that the key is communication. You're going to need to be able to communicate what the fire district needs in order to provide quality service. And so if you do make any changes, just making sure that you update the citizens what those changes would be spent on and how you would further expand services. And on that, I'll invite back up my Professor Dr. Ambrose.
Well, thank you all. So I'll do it right this time, Joshua Ambrosius. So I'm going to hand out to you another packet that includes a short executive summary or memo that summarizes what you heard in the PowerPoint presentation, as well as the complete findings of the survey with the proportions of respondents answering different choices across all questions that we asked. And then finally, there are a few pages of the open response comments. So you have the full comments written by everybody who responded to the survey. So just to echo what you heard here, we found that the citizens are largely satisfied at very high levels. In some cases even higher than the students rate us faculty members at the University of Dayton. And they also seem, at least in terms of the respondents, to be open to the potential of increasing funding for the fire district in the future. Of course, we had 434 respondents, you know, there may be in some way a difference between them and the entire citizenry of the fire district, but we chose them at random. They chose to respond. So we're just reporting back to you what your citizens told us. The final slide on the initial packet has my name and my email address. So if you're going through this second packet and you have additional questions after tonight, feel free to contact me, or if you lose this, feel free to talk to Steve and he can put you in touch with me. So we're happy to also answer any questions you all
I
have.
have a question. Do you feel that the 400 plus is a pretty, I thought that was a lot compared to the number that I've asked. You had a pretty good percentage. What was it,
24.1, that was
Yeah.
That's high, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty
Yeah,
good?
it's
Or is that just?
it's more than I thought we could hope for. We recently, in my other fiscal administration course, heard from the city of Dayton, which runs an annual Dayton survey, and their response rate after paying a consulting organization to assist them was 24%. So we were able to hit the same percentage of respondents. Granted, they had, you know, a few thousand respondents because they asked quite a few more, but we were quite pleased with the response.
And you used, basically, you drilled down on, I'm guessing, the Warren County election results and voting patterns of those people to come to that number, as far as the 1,800.
Yeah. So when you're sampling, you need a population to sample from.
Right.
So we used those who had voted in the November 2016 election cycle, and used a random sampling technique, essentially generating random numbers and assigning everybody a code, and then choosing the 1,800 from the full list.
Okay.
So that way, everybody has an equal chance to be part of that list, and then the respondents can be more easily generalized to the population as a whole.
What response rate would qualify as being statistically valid?
There's no cutoff per se for that. There is, and we didn't indicate this in the packet, there's always a margin of error. So we're probably, you know, talking, you know, plus or minus 4 or 5 percentage points. So in most cases, you know, when we're looking at satisfaction and when we're looking at support for a potential levy, you know, we're well up into the positive numbers to overcome the effect of the margin of error there. Yeah.
Thank you, all of you, very much. This is great information for us.
You're welcome.
The presentation was done well.
And your chief should be commended, I think, in saving quite a bit of money by partnering with the MPA program to do a survey such as this, unlike other communities that pay consultants to do it. So.
And anytime in the future, if you're looking for somewhere to do something like this, we'd be happy to get you on board again if we need the data.
Yeah, and we're happy to do a follow-up in the future. Every year, we're looking for an opportunity for our students to partner with the community. So you all fill a real need for our program as well. So.
Great.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Steve?
Yeah, just real quick in conclusion. Wanted to thank them for their hard work. This was an 8-month effort of class, and as Dr. Ambrose just hit on, this would be $20,000 to $30,000 venture, and all we had to pay for was postage and my time, which was mostly off duty for this program. So we really benefited from it, and obviously got some great information. So I figured we'll talk about this in great detail later, but I'm always open for questions if you got any. Thank you.
Great exercise. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Great information.
And congratulations, Chief, on graduation program.
Glad to be done.
You and Brent Simmons graduated together? Did I see that right? Good for you.
Had some in class, and they give her Hamilton Township. Like, no, I want to look into it. Worked out.
Wow. Okay, anything else under special activities? Okay, moving on to anything under public comments?
Yeah?
18 cents, what do you got?
I have nothing.
Happy to be here.
Came to Begin the presentation.
Excellent.
He's
And
not
then
satisfied
your
with the
new
fire
business, we have.
He's not satisfied with the fire department.
He was at one.
100,000 professional comedians out of work.
You know, but gotta earn my money someday.
Under new business administration,
We'll let you know.
Matt, you wanna hit that off?
Sure, yes, the first item I'm bringing forward is the payroll processing agreement with our broker, 937 Payroll, as well as the ADP agreement. The products that they put forward for us were the Workforce Now solution, standard management reports, local jurisdiction taxes, healthcare management component, which includes the year-end reporting, which is always a pain in the butt.
I was gonna ask about that because I didn't see that in the broad strokes, so, okay, good.
Time and attendance, as well as the maintenance agreement for the time clocks, if we're buying it, a maintenance agreement for $150 a year is money well spent, and I'll just come out and replace it if it fails, so. The monthly processing fees are about $1,400. The upfront costs are $7,260, split between the departments. The reason the outlay is so big is because there's just a lot of data to convey to them. But we are prepared to move forward with it, and I present the agreement to the board for consideration tonight.
When do you expect, assuming that it's approved here tonight, when do you expect to actually?
Their tentative time schedule is about 6 to 8 weeks. That's what we understood in most of the meetings that we attended, not just with them, but with most payroll brokers. The one thing that they underscored and said multiple times, we said it to all of the brokers, was that we were going to be deliberative about it. We were going to take it slow, do a couple of dry runs, make sure we don't trip up in any way, to make sure that the assessment makes sense. So, just so the board knows that was conveyed very clearly.
Who will be doing the majority of the inputting of the information?
That man sitting to your left.
And you're comfortable with everything, Michael?
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
You know, ADP, I've met with them before, ADP does a nice job. So, that's who my company deals with now, so.
Their interface is thorough, but it's intuitive, it's user-friendly. There's lots of cool things you can do with it. And we'll certainly meet and probably exceed our needs, at least initially. But it's something to grow into too.
For sure. Those components can be cost-effective when they're needed.
There's many a tool to work with as well, with healthcare plans.
I'm sure.
Excellent. We're gonna do an enrollment with this system this year.
Wait.
And it takes about 15 seconds, literally. So.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Matt about this?
You said time clock. What does that look like?
It's push band.
Not physically, with multiple buildings and multiple departments, what does that look like?
Well, the ADP and actually many of the payroll vendors have the timekeeping piece. There's multiple ways you can do it. You can actually have a physical time clock, which can be a push pad or a biometric, but I don't want people to think that it's stealing their soul, so we're just gonna do the touch pad.
We are a spiritual bunch.
You can do it online, so it's your desktop.
Okay.
And you can also do it on a smartphone. And you can even geofence it, so you're not allowed to clock in until you're actually on the property.
Perfect.
There's great ways to control it and multiple options for multiple users, and you can do a number of things. You don't necessarily have to geofence it for a certain person. Let's just say that they have to stop at Menards on their way to work, pick something up because it's more convenient, makes sense. Well, then you don't want that person there. And of course, the supervisor has override capabilities for any punch. Having the ability to put in a punch if it's missed, which is going to happen.
Sure.
Happens.
Okay, that was, the smartphone piece was the one that I figured.
Yep, they have an app.
Yeah. Okay. I have no other questions.
Steve, you have any questions? Okay, I think I'd like to entertain a motion to direct the administrator to enter
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay?
Mr. Petersball?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. I might just add that I'm very excited to see this coming. To be, you know, once we get through the initial, that'll be a wonderful thing for Matt and everybody else concerned.
Mike, Lindy, yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Matt too, yeah.
21st century, here we come.
Yeah, paper time sheets are.
Diane deserves at least a steak salad for what she's had to do, so I'll take care of that.
And item 2, we have a recommendation to authorize the township administrator to purchase 2 Canon printer, copiers, scanners, fax machines, as presented and execute a maintenance agreement with the Modern Office Methods not to exceed $12,000.
Yeah, when we first got here, we presented a couple of lease options for different vendors that we have, and the board was pretty clear that we wanted to explore some purchase options, so other priorities took the front burner here and there, but I bring it back for you tonight after having sought 8 different quotes for it and then compared purchase price, overage click rate, you know, the speed of the machine, its features, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We think that we have a pretty good proposal on the table for Modern Office Methods out of Dayton. Their purchase price was actually one of the lowest among the 8 vendors that we sampled. Their per click rates were right there competitive with the other ones. And one feature that I do like, and it is a two-way street, but their maintenance agreement is a year-to-year instead of a 5-year lock. Now, what they're going to do year-to-year is they're going to try to raise up that per click rate, but it'll at least give us the opportunity to maybe negotiate it. So that's a component that I like about it, is it didn't lock you into a 60-month maintenance agreement, it actually goes year-to-year.
Asked Steve, but I thought that, as I recall, I read this earlier, .004 from reach, that's a pretty good rate, isn't it?
Mhm.
And even for the color rate was pretty good. However, I thought that your number of copies before you hit that over, you just kind of love. And I guess renegotiating it every year probably is a good thing, because our monthly is 30,000 in our office, and you've got 6,500. You'll burn through 6,500.
Forever.
Is it your?
13,000 black and
I'm sure you've
white,
got it
up
right
to
there.
3,000 color.
Well, it looks to me like it's a hell of an overage rate. That's what it is.
Now, at the anniversary of the renewal of that maintenance agreement, is there another Canon dealer in Cincinnati or Dayton that can service us to work?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually there is. There's other outfits out there that service and sell Canon machines, so if we don't like the terms of the Modern Office Method agreement. then-
Or the service.
Or their service, that's right, that was a consideration as well.
Absolutely. Even when your copier goes down, you're kind of out of business.
Yeah, that was definitely a consideration that we had, was the service, and frankly, Woodhall has had excellent service for the term that we've had here.
That's right. This is a good machine, that's for sure. Any other questions? Anybody have any questions, comments? Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to direct the administrator to purchase these copiers for the contract.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Petersball?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay?
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. And we also have a recommendation by Matt to do some work on the government center with the Rembrandt.
So yeah, Rembrandt came out in the wintertime when it became apparent that the trim work and the soffits were starting to decay significantly. And I understand when the day that I was out a couple weeks ago, one of our customers picked up a piece of our trim and brought it into Diane. It was apparently not real friendly about it either. But we're starting to lose trim and soffits off the building piece by piece, and it's actually in pretty bad shape. We saw the pictures that I sent a while back. We asked 5 different outfits to bid us. A couple of them declined. One guy just totally flipped out. He said he was coming, they never did. But Rembrandt put forward a proposal for about like $7,400. So I made sure to include a 10% contingency just because the quote's older than 30 days, fuel charges have gone up, so not to exceed $77.50 should do it for just the repair of it.
Definitely time.
It is.
Is there a motion to approve this, and direct the township administrator to enter into this agreement with Rembrandt to repair our soffits, fascia board, and so on?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
Thank you.
Anything else at this time, Matt?
Yeah, not this
Did
time.
you let him know that I covered that with him when I was here?
Yeah.
And what was his response? That concerns me a little bit about the scope of the work.
His response was that we affirmatively declined to do it along with the roof replacement.
That's absolutely not true. 100%. So,
Okay.
I specifically asked about it because I figured at the time if we got everything off of there, it would be easier to do it at that point.
Right.
Which I'm sure it was.
Mr. Palmer, do you remember having any discussions to that regard?
I wasn't privy to all the discussions that occurred with the roof replacement, but that was the idea that we had from staff that was being taken care of with the roof.
I may pop out when he's here. Just say hi. He does good work. That was something I was concerned about because we knew how much was going on underneath of it.
Absolutely.
So there had to be something happening at the end of it too. So. Anyway.
Anything else, Matt,
Not
at this time?
No.
Okay. Moving on to the fire district, we have a recommendation to accept the resignation of firefighter E.T. Matthews Stokes.
Matt was hired about 10 months ago. He's on probation. We did a couple of checkoffs with him, and he just wasn't really performing up to the standard that we've established in the district. So we were working with him, but he decided that this probably isn't the best place for him to be employed, so he decided to resign so he could be employed.
All right, is there a motion to accept this resignation from Matt Stokes?
Moved. Second.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. We also have a recommendation to make a conditional offer of probationary employment to Wade Easterling as a firefighter.
Yeah, so Wade will replace Matt. He's a local guy, lives in Wayne Township, runs volunteer there, and he also works part-time in Blue Ash. Comes highly recommended from a number of people that I know, so I'm excited to get him on board.
Okay. Is there a motion to offer this probationary position to Wade Easterling at the rate of $17.82?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. And we have a recommendation to purchase the 2019 Ford F-250 pickup.
Yeah, this was a budgeted item for fiscal year 2018 to replace our 2005 Ford that we currently have that we're going to be giving to the road department. It's not really up, it's not for emergency work anymore, but it's still got some days to push a little bit of snow, so I'll be more happy to entertain any questions if you have any.
Works out well.
What engine's in that?
I want to say a V8. I don't know exactly what model. Do you need any more than a V8?
No.
Yeah.
Just so it's not diesel.
Correct.
Is there a motion to recommend the chief to order this pickup truck at the not to exceed $45,000 rate?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. And Steve, your monthly report, anything particularly you want to point out in there?
Just a couple things. Kudos to Lieutenant Bueller and Captain Scott on completing their OFE program. To the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, 2.5-year program, pretty intense. So they spent many late nights sending me emails about things, working on projects, so they should both be commended for that. And then the other is, at the end of this month and then on May 1st, we conducted a rescue task force training with both Clear Creek and Springville Police, working together. And, unfortunately, in today's world, we have to prepare for those things. I never thought when I got in this we'd be carrying ballistic protection on fire trucks, but we are. So kudos to both police departments for working with us and being better prepared to respond to something like Oklahoma Rapids.
Good. Anybody have any questions about the chief for his monthly report?
Just have a comment, I enjoy seeing the decline in accepting resignations that we've seen in recent years, so.
I appreciate that. The one last year and one so far this year, but hopefully that'll be the only one.
A lot different than what we've had in the past.
Beautiful things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody have any other questions for the fire district? Moving on to the zoning department, we have resolution 5096, a resolution determining that the maintenance of specific patch lane constitutes nuisance.
Yes, you have four properties in front of you that the minimum height of 18 inches was met or exceeded with each property when we were out on site. And the first two are repeat offenders from at least last year, if not multiple years. The next two are new for this season, so
I think Jargo Lane's actually been, since it's been determined as a lot.
It's been close to a decade plus, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at. We'll start with the grass and see if we can get any additional issues with the health department for the structure. Maybe we can move forward, since we had some success last year with two other properties, so we're hopeful, but we'll start with what we know we can achieve and see where we can go from there.
The Chapel Drive, is that the guy that, didn't we go out to out and mow part of it, or we were there to do it and he started mowing? He lived out by where Wilhelm used to live.
That was the High Point, which is yet to, it will probably be the next time. But yeah, 555.
That's 14 inches.
Yeah, so it's close. But no, Chapel Drive is a property, it's an oddity for us. The people have abandoned the property, there's not a mortgage issue with it, and they're paying their taxes on the property, but they're just not maintaining it. So it's an oddity for the neighborhood, so we're trying to figure out a way to spur the property owners to, do something with it, but at this point.
Did we check inside?
I did not enter the facility, no, you guys, they needed to do that. I had not
down this road
contemplated,
before, folks.
I had not contemplated that, sir. The back
You know
door
what?
was kicked in, so there has been foot traffic into the property. but-
Check out an intern can handle it.
I'll be there.
That's bizarre. We've never had that, have we?
It's an oddity. I don't know any other property that people walk
Rio
away
Vista
from.
was abandoned, we knew they were,
Yeah, with other issues, but
Yeah.
no issues. The neighbors are not aware to the degree that they inform me of another location for these people.
It's a nice neighborhood.
It's right in the center of
Wow.
Sycamore Trail,
Definitely awesome.
Getting a wellness check. Or,
so we can coordinate such events, sir.
Any other questions about 5096? Is there a motion to approve 5096?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have a monthly report.
Yeah, just bring your attention, we're still in the process of bringing the new system online, so you have a combination of the old report, the new reports, and how those are gonna be, so I can answer questions you have, but nothing to bring your attention to.
Okay, if I have any questions on the monthly report? Okay, hearing none, and moving on to the road department. Have a recommendation to make a conditional probationary offer to part-time employment to Colton Hotchkiss. $15 an hour, and we, of course, we talked about this at the last meeting. Anybody have any questions about this hire? Is there a motion to make a conditional probationary offer to Colton Hotchkiss? So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard? Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we also have a conditional offer to seasonal variable hour employment to Jonathan Turney, Hunter Goodpaster, and Erie Turner. So these $2 at $11 an hour and one at $12. So these are all new also.
The $2 and $11 an hour are new, and Irie's returning from last year, but he got the bonus.
Okay. Is there a motion to make the offer to these three people?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we also have the monthly report. Anything you want to pick out for the clean up?
There's nothing
special. Hopefully we've taken care of the water issue on the southeast corner there at Riley Wills and 48, where it ponded on the corner for years. When we were doing that, we replaced 3 culverts, and the gentleman in the corner there said he didn't even know he had driveway culverts. So he's pretty excited about it. We got to go back and blacktop over top, which is something we normally don't do, because we went in and kind of just forced our hand and did it anyways. We told him we'd take care of that for him, which isn't any big deal for us. It's just a small strip. So.
Guys did a good job on it. If you haven't seen it, drive by. Looks better than it used to.
Yeah. Excellent. Any questions about the monthly report for Scott? Okay. Anything else, Scott?
No, sir.
Okay. Moving on to the police department, we have a recommendation to accept the safety talent donation from Sandy's Towing in the amount of $500 and from Simpkins Foley Insurance in the amount of $500.
Yeah, both of those entities have donated every year that we've been open, and again, we appreciate their thoughtfulness and ask the board to accept those donations.
Is there a motion to accept these donations?
So moved. Second?
Mr. Muerspaw.
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Wade.
Yay. And we also have Resolution 5097, resolution authorizing crime lab services of Miami Valley Crime Laboratory as operated by the Montgomery County Coroner. Motion to renew. Is it anything different?
This is a little different. We haven't done a resolution that I can recall of Miami Valley in the past. You know, they're still kind of the only game in town to get lab work done. We're still kind of waiting for Hamilton Township to build theirs and getting geared to see if we can.
Hamilton
County.
I'm sorry, Hamilton County. Excuse me.
Hamilton
Hamilton County to build theirs and see if they're going to farmhouse. It's a long day. And
Checkers in charge.
so we're still kind of waiting out there. This is a little different than the past. We've already paid the bill. It's gone up just a little bit from the original days when people started bailing out. The prices went up a little bit. So this time they asked for an agreement and a resolution. So this is just tidying up what we've already paid for and what we're already doing. So.
The motion to authorize the chief to sign this agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Muerspaw.
Yeah.
Mr. Wade.
Yay. And then we have the police department's monthly report. Anything?
Nothing in particular there. I would report to the board that we've completed our gun trade-out that I brought to you several months back. It was $20,000 of the weapons. We expected that cost to be around $400. On the final inspection of some of the seized weapons, some of the secondary serial numbers have been filed off like all good bad guys do, and they can't take those and trade and resell those. So it went to about $1,000. We still got $20,000 of the guns for $1,000 on the trade-in. Resets our cycle for probably another 8-9 years. So still is a great deal on it, but that worked out. So awesome.
So what do you do? Just have those other guns destroyed?
The ones, yeah, we had the road department cut one of them up the other day, so we'll destroy those and then log it up with the court. It's been destroyed and got rid of.
Okay. Great. Anybody have any questions for the chief about his monthly report or anything else? Okay, how about staff updates? Anybody have staff updates?
Discussions continue with the Warren County Soccer Academy with respect to their new agreement. Their ask has been scaled back some since we first discussed it. It really pertains more now to field space at Hoffman than it does using the bubble over the tennis courts. They decided that was probably not going to be quite as profitable as they might have first expected. So they backed off of that a little bit, but discussions continue, and I hope to be able to bring forward something more formal at the next meeting.
Okay. Anybody else under staff reports? Okay. Okay, we do have an executive session scheduled. Is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and move to executive session?
So moved. Second?
Mr. Muerspaw.
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Wade.
Yeah. Anything to expect any action to be taken